Let me ask the actors a little bit about how you did come together as a group and what it is like to work on the show.
Well,
We cast them.
Yes. I initially came in to read for the part of Stan the cop. And I felt like it was the best character in the show. No, yeah, I am kidding. We all just, how do we get the job? We all just kind of went through your normal, basic audition process, but the one difference was we all kind of had a great idea of how great this show could be. So I knew from the second that this script was sent to my house that, you know, this would be something really terrific, and wow.
Was it the look of the messenger?
Matthew wasn't allowed to do it for a while. They kept him from doing it. He was doing another show.
Oh,
Oh, it's fun. And
Do you want to tell what the show is about?
Nope, nope. He was actually one of the first names on our list because we'd worked with him on Dream On once, and he was one of the first names we had. And during the casting things, oh, he's not available. It's like, oh, and by just the stars being in all the right places, it worked out that he was once again available. So that was just great luck.
Why was it you weren't available?
Get a date.
Oh, okay.
No, I'll say what the show was. I was not available because I was doing a television show on another network that was about baggage handlers in the year 2194.
That's true.
You laugh, and yet...
Is that a joke?
Well, that's totally a true story.
I believe you.
So the producers took a look at it and said, you know what, maybe this won't go.
True.
Oh, we had a sort of a similar situation
Yeah, that's
going
right.
on
That's right.
at the same time.
It was a little more difficult, though.
Yeah, this was a lot more difficult. I was actually doing another show that was going, but it worked out because I was able to do for I guess a 2-week period.
Just two?
There was some overlap.
Because there was a hiatus that I did
Yeah.
both at the same time, and then the stars are all in the right places allowed for that one to go away and live another life somewhere.
That show is called Muddling Through, by the way, and Jennifer will be back honoring that show next week. So.
It was scary because we rolled the dice a couple of times like that, and had things not worked out, it's really terrifying to think what it might have been.
Do you want to comment?
Matt
Yeah. I was very available. And had to fight tooth and nail for it. Yeah. Yeah. No, it was when the 6 of us finally did get together, and this was the group that it was going to be. It was really great because you take 6 strangers and put them in a room together and tell them that if you all get along, then it's for the best. And we all entered it with open minds, and I think we're all pretty close as a result. Well, except for you. Yeah, we have a good time.
It was an experience I had never sort of experienced, where you're in a room with these 6 actors, and we would go outside, and it just clicked. We just knew what to talk about. We laughed at the same things. Our humor, it all just sort of started rolling into this one perfect, thing. I was about to say piece of dough, but that would have been.
One of the interesting things in this whole process
Good.
is how much the characters have changed because of who they are. Joey was very different before Matt came along. He was smart.
Wow.
No, I'm not saying you're not.
You're really on your own.
The whole room of people wondering how you're going to get out of that one, babe.
I will. We wrote.
Maybe Matt won't catch it.
No. What did he say? Should I
Maybe Matt will catch it.
I didn't say Matt is not smart. No,
By the way, Mike doesn't work on the show anymore.
that you have this idea in your head of what you want these people to be, and then an actor comes along, and they have these natural instincts on how to be funny, and you can't make them do what isn't I don't know, their best side or their just the way they know how to be funny. And when you start to work with these people, and all of a sudden you give them a joke that you hadn't given them before, and you go, wow, that's even funnier than the thing was before. And these characters.
And he's available.
No, this is much later in the process, as we're doing like the 5th and 6th episodes. Joey never had the kind of heart in the beginning that he does now. And that was because of who Matt is and what he brought to it. And it was.
Nice recovery. Nice recovery.
Thank you.
I love you.
Oh, I love you too. Don't embarrass me.
We have the flashcards.
Okay, good.
Maybe the writers could comment on the 2 episodes that we've seen and also writing for this cast.
We did a similar thing to the Blackout on the baggage handlers. But, I guess the Blackout episode started when someone at NBC had the idea to do a whole night of Blackout, meeting the 4 primetime comedies, us, Mad About You, Seinfeld, and at the time...
Madman of the People.
Yeah. Also going to be honored along with Muddling Through. And
It's funny, a company owned by General Electric wanted to do a show about a blackout.
The 3 of us did it.
Yeah, we did.
And so we wanted to do it because we felt like, the producers and everyone felt like anything that can tie us into the other shows, Seinfeld and Mad About You, that early on would be a good thing to do.
And we wanted NBC to like us.
And we wanted to write it because you get extra money when you write a script. So, it was an artistic decision. The first draft of that, actually before it was a draft, we were going to do, when we talked about what would happen in the Blackout, we were going to do like a Poseidon Adventure parody. And apparently Shelley Winters was not available, so she got pissed when they wouldn't let her be Stan the Cop. And so we wound up just, I guess, talking about, that was like the first episode where they really all came together as a group.
Yeah, and the prom video was, we knew we wanted to bring Ross and Rachel together, and we're just looking for a really unique way to do that. And we were also really hungry to see them when they were younger. So sort of all those forces coming together.
Oh, we wanted to see Monica fat.
Right. Well, let me take some questions from the audience. Who would like to ask the first question? Nobody? Yes, go ahead.
Yes, for Matthew Perry, in the Blackout episode, you were really hilarious. It were fantastic. I want to know, I mean, you had so much like body movements and things. Was a lot of that your own doing?
Yeah, that was almost all me. Almost the entire. No, I do know what you mean. Yeah. I think that came out of me coming to the set and saying to the producers how awkward me asking girls out had gotten in my life and how nervous I was. And they said, well, you know what? That'll be funny. We'll take advantage of that horrible thing in your own life and put it on national television for millions of people to see. So yes, it was pretty easy to be nervous around a beautiful woman. Okay.
Go ahead.
This is for the producers. I remember early in the show when the Ross and Rachel thing started, you had made a comment, something like the show is called Friends, and you weren't going to get them together. What made you give in and decide to actually get them?
I don't think we ever said we weren't going to get them together. I mean, we knew that keeping them apart for a while was fun, but...
That became impossible because it wasn't...
We wanted it too much. God, it was like, oh, quick, we wanted to get our hands on that.
It wasn't like a situation like Cheers or Moonlighting where they're these 2 people who know they're attracted and yet they keep sparring. Here, it was about one of them who didn't know the other one was interested. And you can only throw cats on him for so long and bring in Italian guys. And we just reached a point where we would all sit in the room and go, how can she not know? And so we finally figured we've got to
There was
make it
also
happen.
a certain element of, after a while in the shows where they keep them apart, you get so frustrated. Just go, oh, just please do it already. And that's what we wanted to see.
Yeah.
Okay. Right here.
When you have the kind of enormous success that you guys have had, What is it like trying to keep it as fresh and as hip as it was in the first year, and 3, 4, 5, and 6, it looks like?
You know,
You don't think about
Preservatives?
Yeah, no, you just basically, you don't think about stuff like that. You don't even think about keeping it fresh. You just, you sit down and do a story.
And you think, what do I want to watch? What would I like?
And just, it's just coming up with stories that you like.
We also have a staff that's fairly young. So in terms of...
Compared to us old people.
Yeah. And just in terms of some of the references, more topical references, we get that from them.
Yeah. And while we're on that, I would just love to acknowledge at this point that we have the most wonderful writing staff, and the other people who contributed to what you saw. Adam Chase, Ira Ungerleider, Jeff Strauss, Jeff Greenstein, Michael Curtis, Greg Malins, Betsy Bournes. Am I leaving anybody out? Because they're absolutely wonderful, and everything on the show is written by a team, and what? We're extraordinarily lucky to have them.
Is it hard to get back into it when you come back from the movies or whatever?
No, you almost hunger for it, you know. It's sort of such a unique situation that we have with each other, and we just get closer and closer as the years go on, and that it becomes, it's easier at work, and we have each other as sort of cushions for all that, you know, all that goes on in the transitional periods of, wow, this is intense, this is so incredible. You know, are you going through that? Yes, you have people that understand what you're going through. So it's really a, you know, wonderful thing.
Maybe a comment?
Well, no, just that it really is true. When we got back to do the first episode this year, there was such a unique feeling that we were just all so happy to be there because now, is Matt LeBlanc making a face? What's happening?
I think they're laughing at something else.
What are you laughing at?
I said I think they're laughing at something else. Okay, moving right along.
And
next
I think I see somebody's hand up.
This question is for the actors. Last year, you just got so big with the coverage, and probably the best example of it is how widespread, how national the recent story was about the negotiations. And you don't have to go on about that if you don't want to. But what has it been like seeing your career played out in the press and to see how so big it has become? And has it come to a point that it's gotten so overwhelming to watch?
I'm sorry, what negotiations?
Well,
surreal, I think.
Yeah.
In a word. Just
Good word, very good word.
I think that, does that mean what I think it means?
No, I think the simple analogy for that is, you know, imagine if you went in to ask your boss for a raise, and all of a sudden it got national media coverage. You know, I think that there are certain things that are made to be far more important than they really are, and obviously we're all up here tonight and feel really good about our show, and I think that's the thing.
I actually think that the bigger thing is their personal lives get played out in the world, and you know, Lord knows that's not happening to us, although I'll tell you things, but I can, just from seeing what the 6 of them go through, it's intrusive and insulting, and your privacy is gone, and as much as I think everybody longs for success, there is something that goes along with it that is terribly uncomfortable and makes it hard to just be a person.
But we get like killer king seats. I mean, sometimes I feel like I should get involved in the game. I'm so close. So, you know, there's good and there's bad. Go ahead.
Along the lines of the point that Marta just made, I was going to ask Jennifer if she has any interesting anecdotes from that point in time when the Rachel was at its height of popularity.
I don't know what that was all about. I got to tell you.
It was a dance.
It was a what?
It was a dance.
It
The
was a
Ra-
dance.
The Rachel.
The Rachel. Yeah, I mean, I found it quite entertaining, the whole hoopla, and everybody, thinking it's all of a sudden see this haircut, which was never, it never was the same on me, cut to cut or whatever. But yeah, I don't really know what that was all about.
I have to say, it was weird for us. You work from 9:30 in the morning till 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 in the morning, around the clock, 5 days a week, and they're talking about the hair. What are we doing wrong?
What are you doing? What am I doing wrong? Yeah, that is definitely a thought that passed through my brain.
As a writer, the Jeff never became.
Go ahead, over there.
What was the second year like? Because you had all the Friends clones, you had the Diet Coke commercial. I mean, you became this huge phenomenon. What was it like just going through that whole second year?
There was a
I'm wearing a
feeling-
Friends condom right now, by the way.
What did he
What is going on with you, man?
Trying to give them their $17 worth, man.
They're okay.
Okay,
They're
I'll
okay.
stop.
Kevin's gonna be like, okay.
Happening.
It was pretty wild. There was the feeling of things getting a little out of control, and one of the things that we've tried to do this season, as we started the third season, is focus in much more on just the six friends, stories that are really just about them and not about phenomenal stunt casting or diet sodas of any kind.
And it was a very different experience for the writers and the producers because we didn't see the phenomenon. We weren't really part of the phenomenon. We were working our asses off and going, oh, look, look at that. And there, and we felt like there were actually two shows going on. There was the one that was on all the covers and in the media, talking about everybody. Then there's the one that we actually, all of us, did every day. And that was the one that was actually rewarding, not the other thing. That was the one that was just a blast.
Which one was that? Oh.
All the way down.
Is there going to be a return to Marcel the monkey?
Where are you?
Come here. Come here. No, absolutely not. We weren't so keen.
Too much worms coming back at you.
We weren't so keen on bringing them back last time, but it seemed to be we needed for that Super Bowl show we needed some kind of event. But no. It's much like what Marta was saying about when you're killing yourself to get these like shows that you think are smart and funny, and it's about the hair. Well, it's the same thing. It's about the monkey. There was a point when the network got very excited about the monkey thing, and they saw this possibility that over the summer after the first season, they said, wouldn't it be great if the monkey somehow escapes from the zoo and all summer it's about where's the monkey? And we're going, that's where our show ends after a season? Where's the monkey?
A monkey on a milk cart. Just imagine.
Remember, we were gonna open the next season then with them eating something, going, "This is great. What is this?"
We actually, in the first season, we had, for quite a while, we were working on how to kill Marcel. He was going to be dead. He was going to be dead by the end of the season. We were begged not to do that.
The episode where he starts humping things,
which was
we came very smart, sophisticated television. But we came very close to doing the episode where it ends, where Marcel kind of goes berserk and humps a toaster. And you just, and all the lights go, and that's it. And they weren't thrilled with that idea.
Begged us not
to.
It's so funny.
GE wasn't happy about that one either.
Wish we did it.
Has any comment about the recent Entertainment Weekly readers poll that voted Chandler and Joey the two most likely characters to be gay?
What? Wow.
No
Seems
pressure.
like this would be the most fun.
Why don't we take another question?
We didn't like working with the monkey. He was, I mean, he ate live worms. He was, no, I think that's a very interesting thing that because we did an episode in the first season where everybody thought Chandler was gay. And then I'll look on the internet and Chandler is gay. I mean, pages and pages and pages of my character being gay. So I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting that people are talking about him and they don't know what he is.
From our standpoint, it's just we've had a lot of fun dealing with this very close heterosexual relationship. If they were gay, I think it would just be a lot less fun. So it certainly isn't something that we're itching to do.
Besides, I think you're confused with the article on Ellen DeGeneres. Somehow you're getting things mixed up.
Go ahead.
A question for the writers. The story ideas, where do they come from? Do a lot of them come from your own lives?
No. None. Not a one.
Many, yeah. There's lots of ex-boyfriends and girlfriends and wives and husbands who probably see their stories played out.
Back in '89, when I sent my monkey to the zoo, I thought, well, the writing staff, as someone said before, the staff is about the same age as the characters. So a lot of the stories did come from us sitting around talking about stuff that happened to us or happened to people that we know. And then inevitably the question would be, well, but is it funny enough, or is there a story in that? So we would have to take things and sort of twist them and turn them and mold them until they were actual stories. So a lot of the beginnings of stuff, I think, are things that happen to a lot of people who are on staff.
It's also cool to use like girls' names who wouldn't go out with you in high school.
In addition to that, it's like the 6th year.
Yeah.
There's also the thing that happens, you sort of, after a while, forget that it was about you at all, or didn't realize you brought it in. I remember going home one day and telling my husband about a story we were working on, and he looked at me and he went, well, you know who that's about? I went, no. He said, that's my parents. What do you mean? And as he took it apart, I realized that is exactly what it was, and I totally missed it, and I'm sorry, honey.
Do you have ideas as to what will happen to the characters 2-3 years from now?
No.
Nothing.
Well, that's not good.
Stuff will keep happening to them. No. We have a pretty good idea of what's going to happen to them throughout this whole season. But beyond
I can't
that,
think past the 11th episode.
it's too hard, and also it's the show kind of takes you places. When we introduced the character of Richard last year, he was originally only supposed to do 3 episodes, and then it turned into this large arc that spanned half the season. So
We have no idea where things are going to go. We had no idea that when Joey and Chandler were not living together, that you would care about that as much as you cared about Ross and Rachel. We were just shocked. So it tells us what to do sometimes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I was wondering, this is for the producers and writers primarily. One episode, there was a mezuzah on the door of the Gellers' home. And I'm wondering if the Gellers are intended to be written as Jews, or how you deal with these characters are Jewish, these characters are Christian, and do you have these conversations?
Yes, we have the conversations.
They're, as far as what they are in, the Gellers are in our minds. We haven't really done much with it, but the Gellers are half because Elliot certainly is and
Christina certainly isn't.
Although I won $5 because I bet someone would bring up the mezuzah on the Geller's door.
How big is your TV?
I just want to say that I was surprised it was added. I mean, my TV is not that big.
Then you're sitting too close. No.
All right, it's my mezuzah.
it's something that hasn't. We've talked about it in the room. We've pitched around stories that center on that.
In our heads, Rachel is Jewish, but that's our heads.
Entertainment Weekly voted Ross and Rachel most likely to be Jewish. I think. I mean, if it was in the same article, sir. I don't.
It just has yet to yield any stories that seem like no one else has told them.
Let's take another question. Go ahead.
This is for Matthew Perry. Are you single?
Yes, and what? No, yes, I am.
Go ahead in the middle.
I have a question for the actors. How involved do you guys get in the writing of the show and in creating your characters for the episodes and for the season? How much do you get involved with that, and how much control do you have over where they go and what happens to them?
Can I ask the writers to leave for a moment?
Well, I mean, when you rehearse, you sort of throw things out and you rehearse, you really work a scene, and sometimes you'll have an idea and you'll, try to make it work, and then we have a run through and we'll say, okay, now here's this idea, and what do you think of that? And they're so egoless that it's sort of a combination of everybody's minds coming together, and that's what sort of makes it as fun as it is that it's not like this hierarchy and, it's a combination of a lot, but we rarely, we're not very good at writing. That's why we do what we do. But, our ideas are definitely, they're open to them, and when they're funny, they sometimes say yes.
So not a lot. not a whole hell of a lot, but some.
Very rare.
All right, we don't write.
No, actually, I'd say we were talking once last year about this, that 50% of the time when they pitch stuff, they're right, and 50% of the time when we agree or don't agree to it, we are. I mean, we all, yeah.
Go ahead, yeah. Take it, run with it, like a schoolboy in a field.
That was actually your thing, the 50% thing. That's why I looked at you.
Oh.
Remember?
Yeah. No, I would say the percentage is much lower in terms of I'll go up and I'll pitch about 10 jokes a week, and maybe one of them will be, yeah, that's all right, and the other 9 are so insane that no, they don't make it. But
well, you pitched that whole Mezuzah thing.
I did. I want to talk to you.
But it's basically an arena where the actors do have a voice,
yeah.
Which normally we have none. We just are there and we're pawns and we're moved, and but this is just.
I miss that.
All righty.
Would you guys shut up? No, but that's sort of the beauty of these writers.
As you conceived the show and as you cast the show, you mentioned that bringing the actors together brought a certain sense. And did they take you in directions that you hadn't anticipated by the nature of the people who are part of the cast? And were there any surprises in the characters?
The whole dumb thing.
I'd say certainly Courtney and the character of Monica, we kind of discovered about a third of the way through the.
She came in for Rachel. We only went to see her for Rachel at first, remember?
And she sort of said, "I want to be Monica," and we resisted, and then said, "Oh, okay." But then she was just kind of the sort of happy nurturer for the first few episodes, and then it was the Thanksgiving show where, and it wasn't even in the first draft of it.
She lost her mind.
Where we realized the story was really about her because she was kind of organizing this dinner, and we let her flip out, and she was hilarious, and we realized, oh, there's this other side to her where Courtney could be really funny, and that became part of who Monica was.
There was a thing with David Schwimmer in an episode where he walked into a dryer door and fell down, and we laughed so hard and went, wow, physical comedy. Didn't know. And we're still discovering that kind of stuff. It's.
I think one of the other things, though, that we were very fortunate, particularly on the pilot, was to have somebody like Jim Burrows around. And I think he also gets a lot of credit for bringing out, I think, the best in the material and the best in the 6 actors. So we were very lucky to have him around in the very beginning to sort of underline. And matter of fact, I think he was the one who pointed out about Matt with the dumb thing, and Matthew with the gay thing.
So it's better to kill me too. Wait a minute, Matt LeBlanc will feel better if you just.
Yeah.
You have no.
Thanks, Kev.
No problem. I'm sorry. Behave.
Go ahead.
The lesbian wedding scene, did the networks want that to go through? Did they give you any hesitation?
They didn't give us a moment's hesitation, not
They were
one
great.
second.
They were great.
They were concerned about phone calls and security and letter writing, and they put on extra security and extra operators. And that night, the night of the airing, they received 4 phone calls. That was it, 4.
They were very supportive.
Months later, we got letters from Reverend Wildman's friends, from people who clearly hadn't seen it, but heard the word lesbian, and Wildman got them all hipped up, and they wrote us all these nasty letters about how we're un-American and ungodly, but that was it.
Yeah, no, the network was terrific throughout the whole thing.
Jane and Jessica this season as well?
Oh yeah, they're in this week's? Yeah, this week's coming up.
You mentioned how the network has ideas about where they would like characters to go, or what sort of thing they like stand on top, have an older character, a more mature, wise one, do something with the monkey. And you talk about how much arguing is there really between, no, we really want our show to stay this way. And does the network realize or acknowledge afterwards that it was a good thing you didn't have the older character, it was a good thing to let the monkey go away?
The acknowledgement thing was they did a lot of it around the pilot, but since then we've had an absolutely wonderful relationship in terms of notes and stuff. Shelley McCrory is our network person, and it's
She's sitting among you.
No, the network has been terrific, and a lot of things like
No, it's true.
No, it is true, and a lot of things like the suggestion about the monkey. It's just a suggestion. It's never a mandate. It's never an order. And
they have a pretty good sense that we're harder on ourselves than anyone else is going to be on us. So they, to a large extent, allow us to hear the problems and find our own solutions.
I was wondering if you would be friends with your own character.
These are my only friends.
I don't see how that's really possible.
I've known people. You should ask them. I've known someone like Rachel. I've known many girls like her that I was friends with, or had an acquaintance. But
me too.
You know.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yes, I think pretty much across the board, there's enough of us in these characters that we would find,
What do you mean?
It's all right. It's all right.
Go ahead. Yes.
Last night there were 22 people on stage for the Playhouse 90 tribute. Could you have fit in 3 more seats tonight?
Oh, they're the 3 friends?
Oh, they're in New York, and Chicago.
And Lisa's on Saturday Night Live this week.
David's working with a theater company in Chicago. Courtney is in New York. I don't remember what thing she's doing there.
She's hanging a mezuzah there.
They were not able to be here. We didn't invite them.
These are our favorite 3 friends.
Another question.
This lady in the front row.
Yes, right here.
Could you walk me through how the writing is done with a group of people? Does one person have the idea and develop it, or do they all contribute to the dialogue? How does it go with the group?
I'd like to volunteer Michael to answer that question.
Basically, anybody comes in with
something, you know, we'll sit around and we'll figure out, you know, we need an episode and we need a story, and people will throw out ideas from anywhere, things that come up with, off the top of their head, things that happen to them. Something will spark everybody's interest. We'll all sort of start to riff on it.
Talk at once.
What's that?
Talk at once.
We'll all talk at once. And then it'll sort of start to take a shape into a story. And then we'll flesh it out sort of beat by beat, entire story, and then we'll come up with 2 more, pretty much, and put them together to make an episode and outline it. Then we'll send off one person or a team of people to write a first draft, and then we will all, as a group, rewrite it together. And then we go into production, and during the week we'll go and we'll hear the actors read it, and we'll see what's working well and what's not, and we'll fix that. And so every day during the week of production, we'll be making changes, and that's pretty much how it works.
The writer gets a rewrite, the table gets a rewrite, we take it to them, they read it, it's another rewrite, we see a run-through, it's another rewrite, we see another run-through, it's another rewrite. Camera blocking, we have little rewrites. Show night, whatever doesn't work, we rewrite. It's hell.
It's too much rewriting.
Takes you how many days to do a show?
We just do it in one afternoon.
In the course of a week.
But it's been 2 to 3 weeks of coming up with a story, sending a writer off, doing that work.
Are you guys planning to come up with a CD of Phoebe's greatest hits?
Devin?
How many people want to buy it? No, I think that rightfully so, Phoebe's character on the show should be preserved on the show, as should her vocal performances. But if we get enough letters, maybe you can change our mind.
Phil?
How did it feel to have a live audience respond to the show tonight?
It's great.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
It was great. Can we set this up once a week? It's terrific.
Thursday at his house.
Come on.
Have you seen it before with an audience, other than the night of the run-through?
Oh, no. No, it's wonderful.
It's fun to watch those episodes again, too.
I'm a Jewish reporter for Entertainment Weekly. I just wanted to say that those of us who work on the West Coast are really, really sorry. And we didn't mean that to run. It was a mistake.
What is he talking about?
Oh, jeez. Go ahead.
What made you decide to write a brother and sister in the middle of a group of friends instead of just having strangers?
Felt like it?
When we were designing who the 6 characters would be, we were trying to come up with combinations that would let us come up with the greatest number of stories. So it was brother-sister stories.
College roommates.
Yeah, best friends, men and women, inter-friend romances. So it was really just, it was the fear of that point which we reached on Dream On, where you go, we are out of stories. And just trying to keep that moment away as long as possible.
Yes.
Question for the writers. What other comedies on the network, or on any network, do you particularly enjoy, or whose writing you respect?
Muddling Through was a good one. Baggage Carrier 2094. Well, we have the tapes of all the Friends shows, so we just watch them over and over again.
I'd jump in and say certainly Seinfeld.
Frasier.
Mad About You.
The Simpsons is a show that we're big fans of. And early
Larry Sanders, certainly.
One of the problems is when you work on a TV show, you don't get to watch TV.
Yes, for a small group of the audience.
We don't get to watch much TV. We don't get home when there's still TV on.
Yeah. We stop every Thursday night. We stop at 8 o'clock. We watch our show. We go back to work, and that's pretty much it for television.
When we do get home, we get home on time to see the dramas. So we miss a lot of the comedies.
We get home in time to
Or
see,
Dr.
like the
Gene
Flow
Scott.
commercial.
I like Rugrats myself. That's one of my favorites. Mm-hmm.
The Dr. Quinn is a nice program.
Very funny.
Funny. Funny.
A nice program. Last season, did you invite all the celebrities on to be a part of the show?
No, they just kind of showed up. Whoa, what are you guys doing here?
We didn't, that wasn't the intention. We started out by writing stories and episodes and then sort of sending out the word to try to cast it. But it wasn't like celebrities approached us and we were shaping episodes around them.
We were desperately seeking attention.
I think the only place we did that intentionally was on the Super Bowl show, which obviously there was sort of an opportunity to have a lot of people watching the Super Bowl who had probably never watched Friends before. And so we just tried to give them more of a reason to keep from flicking that dial after the game was over, which I think was over at halftime anyhow. So.
Yes, lady.
For the actors, how did you find out you got your parts, and who was the first person you told?
Good question.
Yeah. Who was the first person I told? I got my agent called me, and who was the first person I told? My neighbor.
I think I actually called my best friend, ironically enough. No, kidding. Call me.
I found out, I checked my messages at about 11:30 at night, because what happens is you go to the network and you read, and then you're going to find out in the next couple hours whether you get the part or not. And and I called this man right here. And so I was checking my messages like a freak of nature, because this was a job that I really wanted all day long, and no message, so I thought it was gone. And then I was at my buddy's house, and I checked my messages, and it was this lady right here saying, "Welcome to the show." And then and then I got that message, and then it was just life changed. And I was with a friend of mine, so I, basically screamed, "I got it." And then said, "I'm way too big to hang out with you," and got out of it.
Shame you're not funny.
Go ahead, yes.
How was it that Lisa Kudrow was on Mad About You and Friends at the same time, and was that intentional to?
It's sort of they didn't have her exclusively, and she came in and read. And she came in and read for Phoebe, and it was absolutely clear that she was Phoebe. And then we talked to Danny Jacobson and the people over at Mad About You, and they were really great and accommodating, and in terms of schedules. And when in the episode where she played both characters in that first season, they were great about it and let us use their set and stuff like that. So.
With the relationship between
Switzerland.
Janice coming in so much, is she going to evolve as a character?
Janice?
You'll see.
Yeah. There's the relationship certainly evolves, and the tricky thing in terms of that is to do that without damaging sort of what the character is and not making her so deep and real.
Chandler evolves.
Yeah.
Chandler's the one who really evolves.
Has there been any discussion of taking the cast and everything on location, like Friends go to Hawaii or?
No.
Well, first of all,
everyone's laughing like that.
We will go to no location where Different Strokes and Family Matters has been. So sorry about that, but.
We're working on the Friends Goes to Israel.
Yeah.
And Japan.
And Japan, there you go.
You know, it would be really, really fun to go to some island and get a tan while we're doing a show, but there's nothing in the works.
Yeah, I think also the other reason that there'd have to be a great reason to want to do that, because I think our studio audience is really so much a part of what we do and how the show runs. And we know that when we go out and even shoot little scenes that, you know, there's something missing there, and there's something very exciting about putting on the show every week. And
Let's face it, when you go on vacation, you don't want to go with those people again, you know. It's like, I want to go alone.
What?
Oh.
What is that?
That's mean. Down
Their friends go to Van Nuys.
I'm going to, unfortunately, because the hour is late, have to bring this to an end, but there are very few shows.
Okay.
They're supposed to say it first, but it's okay.
We don't care.
Sad that
You know,
But there are
Just
very
wanted
few
to hear
shows that catch on as quickly as this show has caught on and had the kind of success that it has. And I think that the energy and the humor and the enjoyment that each of you have for each other in putting together the show is really evident on the screen. And you're to be congratulated in what you've achieved. And we're really pleased to have you here this evening. Thank you.